The Undesirable Soldier. Memorial Day has always been a very special day to me. Whether I'm camping with the family, swimming, fishing, or preparing barbecue for the grill, I do my very best to keep the memory of my fallen brothers and sisters in the foreground of my mind at all times. As a young 17-year-old boy going into the service of my country, I was not the brightest bulb on the tree. The truth be known, I was a bit of a basket case in severe need of psychological counseling. After almost 2 years, I was discharged from the United States Army as an undesirable soldier. For some reason, I just could not adapt to military life. Having spent my entire childhood in a very strict and abusive Jacksonville, Florida orphanage, that should have prepared me for military life. If not that, then my 2 years at the Florida School for Boys Reformatory in Marianna, Florida, should have certainly prepared me for such rigid training. Freedom to me had nothing to do with love or family. My mind was totally blank of what having a mother and a father felt like. I didn't know anything about those types of things, or those types of people, except maybe what I saw on television. The only freedom I was looking for was the right to get a drink of water or be able to use the bathroom without having to ask permission and getting the hell beat out of me. Just being able to do those two things was, to me, something that was worth dying for. Well, I had always wondered what it'd be like to open a refrigerator and get something to eat when you're hungry. I had never done that before. For years, I was ashamed of myself. I constantly wondered why I had failed in my duties and responsibilities as a young boy. Why did I find it so difficult to help defend my country's freedom? Now at age 61 and a lot more mature, I can clearly see what I could not see when I was a young boy. I was so proud of myself when I graduated from boot camp at Fort Gordon, Georgia. For the first time in my life, I had accomplished something of value. When the ceremony was over, thousands of soldiers ran off the parade ground and into the waiting arms of their loved ones. Every soldier screamed and yelled with joy as they hugged, laughed, and headed off to spend some time with their families. Every one of them had someone to be proud of them. Within 15 minutes, everyone had disappeared into the distance. Into the quiet, I stood alone on the grassy field. Looking down at the one medal on my chest, I could feel the tears rolling down my cheeks. It was at that very moment that I realized that I had no reason to defend freedom, that freedom was not worth dying for unless it brought one a sense of happiness and security. I was now on a 2-week leave, and I had no house and no family to go to. I might as well have stood right there for my entire leave. I sat down in the grass, placed my hands over my face, and I cried. Not for myself, but because I realized that I had no one to die for, except maybe a bunch of strangers. Today, as I look out my window, I see my grandchildren running in play while smiling and laughing. I see no fear on their face or in their eyes. I can clearly see what I could not see back then. I now realize the sacrifice that a soldier must give. I now realize the sacrifice that I should have been willing to give so that others could be happy. It was not about me. I cannot undo the acts of an irresponsible 17-year-old. The best I can do is to forever honor with all my heart and with the greatest of sincerity those who gave me and my family the freedom that I now enjoy. Not only on Memorial Day, but every single day of the year. And that I shall do.